Going on, everyone? We have Arena Tournament 5 coming up here, so it should be an exciting tournament here. It's always fun to see how the kids are improving, and I think these tournaments are very good experience for them, and very good way to kind of try to test the ideas that we've been working on in class and apply it to their game. So it should be a good turnout. I think last tournament we had 23 or 24 players. This one we look like we're quite a bit below that at this point, but we still do have a few minutes for everyone to join. So we have 12 people now, and yeah, we have Nathaniel came back, which is awesome. Who else? We have Elizabeth came back, which is great. Daniel's here. We have Kimmy. We have Max's younger brother Alex here. So I've never really seen too much of Alex's game, so I'm curious how he plays in this tournament. We got Vincent. Where's Jonathan? Let me send his mom a message. Oh, looks like we got Jahi. That's awesome. So we're up to 12 players. All right, not too bad. I was hoping for quite a bit more, to be honest. I was hoping to get up to 30 players. I didn't think we'd get 30 this tournament, but I thought we can get more than this. Yeah, I don't know where Brian is at. It would definitely be nice to have Brian here. So let me send his mom a message. So we got 13 now. Yeah, where's Brian at? Yeah, so we got Jahi, Nathaniel, Daniel, Elizabeth, Vincent, George, Kimmy, Alex, Esther, um, Steven, Rooney, Max, and Nathan. So far we got a good group. Yeah, this is pretty disappointing though. Like we don't have Bobby this tournament. We don't have Jonathan so far. We don't have Austin. We don't have Caden. So we're definitely yeah. Where's Josiah at? Let me send Josiah a message. Okay, we got Sam's here, so that's good. So Sam is playing. 14. Yeah, where's Brian at, though? I thought Brian would be here. Maybe he forgot. So I think I accidentally started the tournament at 11:31 instead of 11:30. So that was my mistake. Yeah, 14 players. This is a bit of a disappointing turnout considering last time we had 24. And yeah, I don't understand why we don't get more interest in this tournament, to be honest, because it is a free tournament, and um, it's hard to kind of imagine how you could really improve in chess if you're not playing chess games. So I think the reason for this isn't to like say like this kid's better than that kid. That's not the point of this tournament at all from my perspective. The point is just to make sure the kids are getting some practice and that they're working on their game a bit. And yeah, I think the tournament's a good way to accomplish that. So the fact that it's kind of you have to I don't know. It should be something that the kids look forward to, in my opinion. But everyone is different as far as what they how much time they want to play chess. But anyway, let's get started. So here we have Max and Nathan. So Nathan, I see, has been playing a lot of the French defense, but now he's playing the Carol Condis game. So this is how we have a pawn of Botvinnik attack by Max here, which is I think this opening was played in the fourth game of Carlsen versus Leko in the recent Chess Legends tournament. And it kind of has the features of a Queen's Gambit exchange variation. So I don't like that move from Nathan very much because he's basically just allowing White to develop the piece. He does do a good job of stunting this bishop's path to the f7 pawn, But the problem is now that this bishop might be a bit difficult to develop because it's still inside of this pawn chain. Okay, so we have Bobby here. It looks like let me move this video up just a bit so I can see who's joining. So who else can we look at? So we have Queen Tiger versus Sam. So Queen Tiger is this kid Rooney, and I'm not too familiar with his play. So yeah, this move just is going to allow c6. So I much prefer c6 from Sam here, just picking up a tempo on this bishop. Because yeah, now if the bishop went to a4, he'd have the possibility of b5 trapping the bishop here. Okay, now we got Brian here. So Brian's here now, which is good. So why doesn't Eileen have no one to play with? Yeah, she should get a game here. Yeah, I don't know why Eileen doesn't have a game because it looks like we have 14 players, so everyone should get a game here. Yeah, that's kind of weird. All right, so let's look at Esther and Steven's game here. And yeah, where can we? All right, so it looks like you have a Sicilian defense. So e4, c5, c4. So c4 kind of weakens the d4 square, and so I think we've been working on this lesson where you're supposed to push the c pawn to get your knight behind the c pawn. But I think that the students might be forgetting that it's mainly when we push the queen pawn. When we push the king pawn, right, the pawn in front of our king, that's usually not the time we want to play c4. It's not a terrible move. It's sort of a Maroczy bind setup, but this d4 square could get mighty weak for white here potentially. So knight c6, and the reason why this square can get very weak is because with both of the pawns moved even with this d4 square, there's no white pawns that can attack d4 anymore. So this square is kind of a vulnerable square for white potentially. Okay, d6, d3, and yeah, I'd like to see Esther just develop the knight here. Just work on getting your piece developed quickly. Not too many pawn moves. So bishop g5 looks good. That's a good move, weakening the pawn structure. Bishop e2, knight there, bishop g4. So yeah, it looks like here Steven could have just taken and then played knight to c2 check and fork the rook and the king. So that would have been a problem for white. So let's see what happened. Yeah, apparently Steven missed this idea, which I think this is something he should be able to find if I'm being honest. Yeah, and here I don't understand what was wrong with just queen takes g7. So if your queen's going to be active on this g4 square, you might as well pick up this pawn while you can. Castle, knight d5. So this is a nice improvement of the knight here for Esther. So even though white's down the exchange, I think they have some fighting chances here. Rook c8. So this move, knight takes e7, isn't best. So what Esther should have played here, she has a really nice tactic here. She could have just played rook takes, queen takes the rook on c8. And the idea is, am I allowed to do this? I don't know if I'm able to actually move the pieces. But the idea is after the queen takes the rook, if the queen takes back, then we have knight takes e7 check, forking the king and this queen over here, and then we just pick up a whole rook here, and now we're much better. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to teach the kids not just to make these trades. Like this knight is basically a perfectly placed piece. Notice there's no black pawns that can ever attack this knight here. So just giving up this knight for this bishop is really not a very good move for Esther here, because this bishop can't even move. There's literally no squares it can move to. And this knight is just perfectly centralized. So the quality of the pieces is very important in chess. It's not just it's not just saying like this knight's worth 3 points, this bishop's worth 3 points. Let's go ahead and trade. It's really about analyzing which piece is better. And in this position, this knight is definitely much better than the bishop. And then of course we do have this tactic which Esther just missed, which happens. d4. So that looks like it's gonna. All right. So not the start that Esther wanted. So how come Eileen is not getting a game? I don't understand why Eileen doesn't get paired. I feel like the system doesn't realize she's in or something. Oh, she's not even in the tournament, Eileen, so that's why she's not getting paired. Oh. Yeah, Eileen. So that's why Eileen's not getting a game. I thought she was. Yeah, I thought that was weird. She's not in the tournament, so that's why she didn't get paired with anybody. So we have 17. So 17 is not bad. I was hoping for a few more, but at least we got Jonathan here, which is good. Bobby's in now. Elizabeth's in. So let's look at one of Jahi's games. So he's playing Nathaniel. So this should be these are a couple of classmates. So it should be fun to see this game. So they have 3, Queen E7. So the problem with Queen E7 is it sort of blocks this bishop in, and it also allows this knight to maybe come to D5 and attack the queen. So instead of Queen E7, probably the best move is just knight to C6 here. So Eileen's saying she's in. I don't see her on the player list, so let me just double check this. Eileen and Didi. No, she's not in. Yeah, she's not in. So yeah, let's look at is Kimmy in? I think I see Kimmy. Where was he? Seeker Noob? Oh, he won his first game. So I'll share the good news with his mom. Yeah, I'd really like for Eileen to get a whole tournament in because last tournament I thought she was losing a bunch of games, but she was really getting disconnected. So yeah, I'm having a hard time judging how Eileen is doing because yeah, she's not getting as many games in as she should. And then did Sam just beat Steven very quickly? So Jahi won. I didn't really get to look at his game as much as I'd like to, but that kind of happens. Sometimes I get my attention gets pulled in these other directions. So yeah, let's look at Max versus Kimmy. So let's see what's going on here. So we have, so he's playing the Scotch game, which is something that Max and I have been working on a lot. Okay, Eileen's giving me instructions. What in the world? Why is Eileen? Why is it doing that to Eileen? That's really weird. Let me make sure Eileen is in our club. I'm almost 100% sure she is, but yeah, I have no idea why it's giving her those kind of issues. This is weird. Okay, Eileen is here. Huh, why can't she join the tournament? So weird. Is she clicking on the right tournament? I'm pretty sure she is. Huh. Yeah, I really have no idea why that's happening.
Refresh my page, and when I click join, it just goes back, it just does this, and then it just brings me onto this waiting thing.
Okay, so let's go back. Oh, it's because she forfeited too many games? It's frustrating. Yes.
I'm gonna refresh my page. Go here, and then it just does this until it's bring me on this page again.
Yeah, it's because she timed out too many of her games in the last tournament. So chess.com is, yeah, because of all these timeouts that Eileen had, they're basically saying she's just forfeiting the game, so they don't want her to play. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Yeah, Eileen should definitely be able to play. So I think the only way she can play is if she creates another account. So let me help her out. All right, so yeah, so what's going on with Kimmy and Max? So it looks like Max has a pretty dominant position here. So what happened? So this D5 move was a creative idea by Kimmy, but I think a bit too much. So here White has two attackers and only one defender. So after D5, it looks like Max can just take this pawn and then take the other pawn, I believe. So let's see what Max did. So he played knight there. Okay, so I think Kimmy could just take this pawn here. Okay, so he took there. Okay, so I think I think Kimmy's okay here. Knight c3, bishop f5, bishop f4. Okay, king d7 I don't fully get. Yeah, I don't really know what to suggest for black here because this castle queen side is coming quickly. If we play c6 with the idea of king c7, we're just putting the king and this bishop on the same diagonal, which looks very problematic. Maybe king e8 is probably forced, and then the idea is to put the rook on d8 and hope that we're holding on here. Okay, so we played king e8 there. Okay, rook there. Okay, king. Yeah, so just too many king moves by Kimmy here. So we gave away another free pawn, which I don't understand why. Yeah, so he got yeah, this one's over. Okay, tough game for Kimmy there. Yeah, just losing the right to castle was a problem. All right, so what other games can we look at here? Who else can we look at? So let's look at Vincent and George here. So it looks like they're still in their first game, which is good. So we have we have another Scotch. So I haven't taught Vincent the Scotch yet. So it seems like the Scotch is very popular. So yeah, here for George, we don't really want to exchange the knights here because then we're just centralizing our opponent's queen, and we don't have any more minor pieces that can attack the queen here easily. Like bishop to c5 would just hang the bishop, and yeah, for some reason you can't. I guess you're not allowed to move the pieces, which is okay. Okay, so here we have c5. All right, so c5, yeah, c5 just weakens this d5 square. So probably like, okay, if white plays queen to d5 right away, knight f6 would be good. But white, okay, so nice game by Vincent. Yeah, these games are just going quick. I gotta kind of stick with them. Okay, so here we have a very good matchup. We have Brian versus Max, and it looks like Brian has the white pieces. So Max is playing Sicilian. Okay, knight c6, bishop c4, e6, knight f6, d3, d5, e5. E5 is interesting. E5. Huh. Yeah, I wasn't expecting e5 in this position. So knight g4, castle. Yeah, come on. We can't just give up our bishop, right? This just drops the bishop. So so yeah, e5 I don't think is the right move here. I think we have to go for either. I think we're supposed to take here and then probably play bishop to b5 or bishop to b3. But yeah, giving away our bishop for free is not going to get it done. Yeah, this. Yeah, I don't. Um, so at least in this position, Brian was able to win his opponent's knight, but I don't know why Max didn't just take the bishop here. So knight takes e5 was unnecessary. Just winning the piece right away is definitely better here. No, what is Brian doing? You can't just give up your bishop for a pawn. So yeah, this is something that Brian should know. I have to be honest with Brian here. This is not very good, right? Here we have two pieces attacking this knight, and it's only protected once. So we should just take the knight while we have the chance. Yeah, and now Max defended it again, which is good. So yeah, I imagine that Max is going to win this game very, very easily from here. Maybe he could put some pressure, but yeah, I don't think this is gonna be enough. Queen f4. So queen f4 does allow knight d5 from Brian, which is slightly annoying. So yeah, knight e2. No, this is a really bad game from Brian. Maybe he saw his opponent's rating and he thought that chess is even when your opponent's like a little bit higher rated or about the same. Not Eileen. I like that username. Okay, so let me send her an invite to the club. How do I invite members? Members. Not Eileen. That's a funny name. Not Eileen. So yeah, what's going on in this tournament? Who's winning so far? So we have Nathan in the lead with Sam and Nathan are tied. We have Steven with 3 out of 4. Okay, so who else can we look at? So yeah, this game looks. I don't know how Max got his queen there. I don't know. Queen a6 is okay, but probably queen g4 looks a little bit better to me, more accurate. Trying to trade the queens off potentially if the knight moves. Even queen h4. I don't know. Queen a6 looks slightly passive. All right. So yeah, what other games can we look at here? So let's look at Vincent and Nathan here. Let's see what's going on. So we have another Caro-Kann. Here we have the advanced variation from Vincent, which is a very very playable opening against Caro-Kann. Yeah, I don't know why Josiah didn't play. Okay, so it looks like Eileen joined. So she should be able to play in the tournament now. And then Elizabeth wants to challenge me. Yeah, why not? Why not play a game against Elizabeth? All right, so we have e4. What do I want to play? Let's play the perk. So let's play d6. Okay, d4. Very nice move. So yeah, very good job by Elizabeth. Whenever I guess I'm not allowed to comment on my own game, so I can't highlight anything. Oh, Cadence here. That's good. So yeah, very good job by Elizabeth of controlling these scores on f5, e5, d5, and c5. So let's go g6 here. She keeps saying she's in Eileen, but she's not in. Oh, okay, maybe now she's in. Not Eileen. Where's not Eileen? Not Eileen, not Eileen. Perfect. All right, so we have there. Okay, so this check doesn't really do much because basically I'm allowed to push my pawn here and pick up a tempo on the bishop. So now I'm getting more control of this d5 square while at the same time attacking this bishop here. Okay, so now I can play. Okay, if I play queen to a5 check, she can play knight to c3 guarding the bishop. But if she doesn't see that, Elizabeth, then I can just win a free bishop. So do I want to gamble if she's going to see that or not? It would be nice if she played bishop to g5 next move. Then I could play queen a5, hitting the king and then both of the bishops. And if the bishop retreats to d2, I would just win this, win the bishop. Actually, I should comment that after queen a5 check, Elizabeth also could play c3 here, guarding the bishop with the queen. So let's just go ahead and play bishop g7. Let's get some development in. And then if Elizabeth does play bishop g5, then I'm very ready with this queen to a5 move. And I don't really understand how I could play in the tournament when I haven't actually joined. Okay, so we have g3. So I think I should just play knight f6 here. And my idea is if Elizabeth plays e5, I'm going to take the queen on d1, and then if the king takes, I'm going to play knight g4, hitting both the this pawn on e5 and then also the pawn on f2. So that should be good. So probably knight c3 is the best move. And then I think. So why is she just giving away a piece? So yeah, this move just gives away the knight there. So yeah, this is what we want to avoid, right? We want to avoid giving away our pieces for free. And then also the e4 pawn was hanging as well with that move. And the funny thing now is after knight c3, I have some ideas of knight takes e4, knight takes e4, and then bishop to g2. But I don't have that idea anymore after rook g1. But I still do have this free pawn. I just have to make sure that it's safe to take. I think it's very safe. And now queen to a5 check seems like it's pretty relevant once again. So let's take the pawn here. So let me just say, what should I comment on? If Elizabeth plays queen f3 here, I'm going to play d5 to protect my knight. And yeah, my bishop is. I guess I have to be slightly worried that my bishop can get trapped with this g4 move. So I should think about this for a second. So knight takes e4, g4. Does that do anything? I don't think so because I believe I can play h5, and then h5. I think my bishop is escaping just fine here. So let's go ahead and take. And then, yeah, if Elizabeth plays knight c3 here, I think I'm going to play queen a5 to pin the knight to the king. And that should work out. Okay, so she did find queen f3. Very nice move. And yeah, now I actually have to be worried about g4. So I think my bishop, I don't know if I played this right, because now my bishop could get trapped. The good thing is I always have this queen a5 move. So let's say I play d5, g4, then queen a5, and I think that should just work out. And let me message Caden, because I think he's having trouble logging into the tournament. Okay, so bishop there. All right, so I think I have queen a5, and I believe this is just going to pick up this bishop. So there's an expression in chess that loose pieces fall. And when we say loose piece, we're just meaning something that's not protected by anything. So this bishop is not protected by any piece here. So yeah, I think that this piece is just gonna fall pretty quickly. And yeah, now as I take the bishop, I'm also putting pressure on the c2 pawn and the d4 pawn. And I could try to be tricky here. I could play something like h5 and then play bishop to g4. That would be a complete cheapo, but it might be something that Elizabeth misses, to be honest. I don't feel right about playing this, but I just feel like it's a very, very likely move that Elizabeth might miss. So let's go ahead, and probably Elizabeth's like, why is he playing h5 here? What's the point of this idea? I think Charles didn't play today. That's disappointing. I think this is a really good opportunity. Okay, so she did see my idea. She saw through my cheapo. So let's play bishop to f. Hold on. If I play bishop to g4 here, queen e3. All right, that doesn't do too much. All right, so let's go bishop f5. So I'm just putting the bishop on the same diagonal as my opponent's king here. And now I'm threatening knight to g5, picking up the white queen. I also could have played queen to c4. I probably should have played that. All right, this just runs into a fork with knight takes f2, forking the king and the queen. And yeah, I think all the heavy lifting is done in this game. Because now I also have queen to c2 at the end with the bishop protecting the queen. So yeah, we could take. We also could just play bishop to g4 here, but that does hang the knight. Excuse me, that does hang the knight unnecessarily. So let's go here. If the rook captures, I'm going to play bishop g4, and then I'm going to pick up the rook with my queen. Yeah, so this is a good learning experience for Elizabeth, no doubt. So now I have queen e2 check, and I can pick up this b2 pawn, and then this rook is trapped as well. So that's all good. There's probably a mate here. Maybe I should try to be more precise and find the mate. So I think actually after king g1 only move, I could play bishop h3, which is even better than taking this b2 pawn. And yeah, that's just going to be a forced checkmate on the g2 square. Then let me send a nice note to Elizabeth, because I thought she played well for a large portion of the game, Elizabeth. And I also have queen f1 checkmate. So whenever you have this choice, you just close your eyes and pick. No, don't close your eyes. That's bad advice. But just any checkmate is good in chess. So let's go with g2 mate. So yeah, let's get back to analyzing some games in the tournament. All right, so Nathan beat. Yeah, so that's why Eileen keeps going offline. So please stop. All right, so what's going on here? So let's look at some news. I feel like I haven't done a very good job analyzing games. So let's look at Daniel and Jahi's game here. So it looks like Daniel has the white pieces. Okay, d4. I like to play this against the Petrov myself. So this opening is called the Petrov or the Russian defense after knight f6. d4, knight c6. I haven't seen knight c6. So I think here if we just take the pawn, that should be good. But let's see what Daniel did. Took the pawn, good. And then yeah, Jahi should definitely take the e4 pawn here. I think that's the best move. And the idea is to play d5 and protect the knight next turn. Bishop c4, f6. Yeah, f6 is very weakening. So here, if we just play queen to d5, yeah, this looks like it's very, very tempting. The queen has to come to e7, and yeah, this is probably falling apart for black pretty quickly. Bishop f4 also looks very reasonable. Bishop takes, knight takes, good. And d6. Okay, so here the best move for white is just to play queen to h5. And the idea of queen to h5 check is if the pawn blocks, we just play knight takes g6, and there's a pin on this h pawn. So queen h5 is the best move. Probably Daniel just moved the knight back. Yeah, but we did have a nice opportunity to play queen h5 there. So here we should play queen to d5, and queen d5 we're threatening a checkmate on f7, and we're also threatening the b7 pawn. So h6 or h3 was played, which is also fine. No, okay, yeah. So here we want to get our pieces developed off the back rank, Daniel. So if we would have played queen takes f3, we'd be threatening a checkmate here, and yeah, our position would be very good. Taking with the pawn doesn't help us develop any pieces. So yeah, what did Eileen say?
No, why? But it's going on the other side. I moved on the white space, but it's just blank and no one's moving.
Yeah, I feel bad for Eileen. She has so many problems with accessing this tournament. I think it might be her internet's not working. All right, so bishop e7, castle. Yeah, and now we're castling with sort of this weaker pawn structure, so our king is very vulnerable here. Knight f6, knight c3. So good job by Daniel and Jahi getting their pieces out. And then I forget, is Jahi able to castle still? Yeah, you can still castle, so I'd much prefer to see Jahi castle here rather than play rook to f8. So yeah, here you could remember castling is when you can move two pieces at the same time, so you can get the king out of the center. So yeah, I think that would be better. F4. F4 is interesting with the idea of trying to play E5. I do like this idea. Knight there. So that just hangs a piece. So yeah, we gotta make sure our pieces are safe, and it looks like both players missed that the queen could take. So remember the queen, the bishop, and the rooks are long range pieces, so they can move the whole length of the board in one turn. So F3, just giving away a pawn. H4, just giving away another pawn. Yeah, and like I'm trying to explain, like the most common reason for losing chess games still is we're just giving our pieces away for free. So yeah, we wanna avoid giving our pieces away for free. So I think Daniel and Jahi are both doing some good things in this game, but they're also doing some things that we need to improve, which is to be expected. King G2. Okay, King G2 is interesting. Knight there. So here we could just take. Yeah, so it feels to me like Daniel's just afraid to capture pieces. So if your opponent gives you a free piece, you just wanna take it. Queen E2. Queen E2 is an interesting move, putting some pressure on the E5 pawn. So let's see how Jahi responded. E4. I think we just take that. Bishop back to E7. It feels like Queen E6 would be very, very close to, or Queen E6. This move feels like it should be pretty close to crushing. King H2 also seems reasonable. Rook G5. Rook G1. Okay, trying to pin the knight. Okay, there. So there we can just take with check. And then yeah, the whole point of Rook G1 I thought was to just take the knight, so we could probably do that. Also, Rook F1 looks good as well. Queen F3. Okay. Yeah, so I don't understand why Daniel seems very afraid to capture pieces, but that's something we got to keep working on. Yeah, so this bishop wasn't under. Well, I guess there was two attackers. Yeah, so black one. Okay, and then where's Eileen? Yeah, for some reason it doesn't. So weird. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we only have 14 of the 18 people playing, which is also not good. Yeah, very, very strange. So what's going on? So who else can we look at? Let's look at Daniel and Vincent. Let's look at Kimmy and Nathaniel. So let's see what's going on in their game. So yeah, it looks like Nathaniel, he likes getting his queen out a bit early. And the problem with getting the queen out a bit early is that you just allow your opponent to start attacking it. But in this position, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, so what's going on here with Eileen?
Blinking still. Still didn't change time. His cannon didn't change.
So is this game over now? Okay, looks like Kimmy won. Every time I go to a game, it seems like the game is over. All right, so what do we got here? So let's look at George and Esther's game. A4. So after A4, we had an en passant chance by Esther. So yeah, this looks like at least a perpetual. So the king has to go to H8, and then we have Bishop G7. So let's see what George plays here. I'm curious what George is going to do. So we have a perpetual at the very least. Maybe we have more here. Yeah, so what George can do is he could play bishop f6, and then he can play rook g7 and take on h7, and then threaten rook h8 mate. And I don't know if there's any defense against this. Um, yeah, that might just be winning, but it looks like George is going for perpetual here. Let's see if he plays bishop f6 here. Yeah, so it looks like we have a draw by repetition. So nice game there. Let's look at Vincent and Max. So how come? So it looks like we have 10 players out of 18. So I don't know if people are leaving or what's going on. So we have 12 again, and then George and Vincent are playing again. So yeah, that okay. I guess they played the first game. Okay, that's not a big issue. That happens. Um, so yeah, let's look at so Jahi and Daniel are playing again. Yeah, I think we just don't have enough players. So it looks like the 18 players we have, it looks like a lot of them are not signed on or something, and that's why the kids are keep getting paired against the same kids. So yeah, I don't think this tournament has been our best, to be honest. And how is Brian doing so poorly? He only has 2 points. Yeah, that's not very good. Okay, e6 is a bit of a weakening move in this system because with these two pawns on these squares, this f6 square is pretty weak. So bishop g5 might be a strong move here in the future. So e5 looks reasonable. Take en passant. Yeah, here I wouldn't want to take en passant because yeah, this pawn does a very good job of guarding this square. So I think here just bishop to g5 looks very reasonable. And then it looks like we lost Bobby. Did Bobby stop playing? So yeah, this is really disappointing because if you're gonna come to the tournament, like I understand if you have stuff coming up, but it seems like the same players they just leave in the middle of the tournament every tournament. So it's really not fair to yourself or to the rest of the people in the tournament. You wanna play all the as all the games if possible. So I don't know if there's like some internet problem, but yeah, Bobby only played 2 games this tournament. Um, I don't know how Vincent played 8 games, so that's kind of weird. It's been a weird it's a weird tournament that's going on this one. Jahi's doing great, 4 out of 5 for Jahi. Kimmy's doing awesome, also 4 out of 5.
When I click on this tournament because it just automatically makes me wait for something, I spamming this arena tournament 5 and it won't let me click in, and I think I'm on another tournament, so I'm going to arena tournament 5, something like that, and it won't show up the page, so I refreshed it so many times. When I click on this tournament because it just automatically makes me wait for something, I spamming this arena tournament 5.
Okay, Eileen got a game. Good. Okay, good. I'm really rooting for Eileen to get some games in this tournament. I think she's going to start progressing here pretty quickly, but she needs to get more practice. Just like everyone needs to get a bit more practice. All right, so let's look at Brian, and let's go back to this game. We have Brian and Sam here. So okay, en passant. Bishop g5, so very nice development moves. And yeah, this bishop g5 move would have been a lot stronger if the pawn was still on e5, because now we just have this really nice target on this f6 square. But without the pawn on e5, the f6 square isn't nearly as weak. So castle, very good job by Sam. Nice e3, e5. Okay, e5 looks good by Sam, trying to open up the position a bit. Okay, d5, d4. Take. Right there, good. Excellent job. a6, bishop c4. Okay, good. a5. Okay, so the point of a5 is he's trying to trap the bishop. So it looks like just a move like a4 or even a3 looks fine for the white side here. a4, perfect. h6. So yeah, it looks like here we could just probably take the knight and then grab the d4 pawn. So I'm curious if that's what Brian did. Yeah, so we could just take this knight, and then because basically we're trying to win this d4 pawn, and once we get on the d4 pawn, we could play knight c6, and this knight c6 would be a very good square for the knight because the pawn's protecting it. Yeah, so the point was that after this bishop gets off this diagonal, there's no more pin. Sam wanted to play the knight to f5 and defend the pawn, so that was a nice idea by Sam. The problem is I think this pawn is that's a free pawn for white. Yeah, I don't know why Brian is not capturing his free, these are just free pawns he should be going for. So it looks like they're in some time pressure here, so I should go through this game quickly. Yeah, very nice job by Sam taking advantage of this pin. Good move by Brian getting out of the pin. Yeah, so these last few moves have been very encouraging. Bishop a2, queen c7, and now knight to b5 just looks like a very strong move, putting some pressure on this d6 pawn. And then also there's a discovered attack. Knight b5, good. And then, yeah, here just bishop takes d6, wins at least the exchange. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Brian missed a lot of chances to take some free material in this game. And there's so I don't understand this move, giving away your passed pawn. Here we just have rook takes e5, picking up a free pawn. Yeah, that move I didn't. Yeah, so why give up the pawn first? That didn't seem necessary. All right, so that one went down to the wire, so that looked like a good game. Yeah, in the final position, it looks like Brian's going to lose his rook there. Yeah, so I think we could have some improvement on this game, but not too bad. So let's look at Esther and Nathan real quick. It looks like they're in the opening. Yeah, this is just nope. All right, so I kind of made a promise to myself that I'm going to be more patient with the kids because. I understand for me some of these things are easy to spot, but that's because I've been playing chess for longer than they've been alive. So I have to be patient. I went kayaking on Monday with my now fiance, and basically the instructor was very nice, but she kept she kept making kind of these suggestions that we should be better kayakers, and she seemed like to have like many years of kayaking experience, and for most of us, I think it was. We've only kayaked maybe a handful of times in our life, if not less. So I kind of realized that when I'm teaching chess, it's kind of the same thing, right? I've done these things so long that for me it's easy, but it's not going to be easy for someone who hasn't done these things as much as I have. So yeah, I kind of realized like when this girl was saying, you have to get in the kayak this way or do that, and if we weren't doing it properly, it's like because we don't have that experience that you have and get it and using a kayak, so. It kind of made me think, I should be more patient in when I'm teaching. But yeah, I should explain also why this is bad. D4 just moves the same pawn twice, and there's two attackers and no defenders. So, I guess there's one defender, but yeah, I don't understand why D4 would be played here. Yeah, and this kind of goes against most of the stuff we've been learning about, where you don't want to move the same piece over and over in chess. So yeah, this is just a free piece. So yeah, we can't give away our pieces for free. I've been thinking about a lot of analogies for how I'd want to teach, like not why it's bad to give your pieces away. But one that I kind of enjoyed is like if you're running a race and while you're running you try to trip yourself so that you fall. Everyone would know, right? That's not the best way to run as fast as you can. You don't want to try to trip yourself. That's what giving your pieces away for free in chess is. It's basically like you're running a race, and then you just take your one foot and you just trip yourself on purpose so that you fall down. If you do that, you're not gonna run very fast. So same thing in chess. If you're gonna give away your pieces for free, you're not gonna get very far. So you want to make sure that you're very conscientious about not giving your pieces away for free. And then yeah, let's see what's going on with Steven and Eileen. Yeah, so same thing. Too many pawn moves. We talk a lot about in class about developing your pieces, right? The 3 opening principles are control the center, control the 4 central squares, get your pieces developed, and get your king safe. We don't talk about just moving pawns and giving your pawns away for free. Okay, d5. Yeah, Eileen's time is taking a lot, so I wonder if she got booted off again. And then yeah, same thing here. There's just 2 attackers and only 1 defender. So and we haven't developed most of our pieces. White won by resignation. So I wonder if I think she got timed off again, Eileen. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. So here we have. So is Nathan just running away with this? No, okay, Steven's right there. Max is right there. Okay, never mind. Jahi's doing fantastic. Is Sam still playing? Sam's still playing. Okay, so let's look at Steven and Jahi here. I guess they're in the opening phase of the game. So yeah, it's very common to go for this 4-move checkmate pattern. But yeah, this isn't going to work here because this knight on f3 does a very good job of blocking the queen from this f2 square. And now this queen is sort of just pretty misplaced here. d3. So d3 is fine. I think in this position, Steven could just go for knight c6 here, attacking the queen, and then also attacking this c7 square. I guess after knight c6, maybe the queen can go to g6 and put some pressure on this g2 pawn. So maybe just d3 here is more reasonable. So knight d4, castle. Okay, castle. Yeah, the problem with castle is that there's 2 attackers on the knight and 2 defenders, but one of these defenders is a pawn, so the pawns could get doubled. So yeah, we do have to be a bit careful about this. And then here, now that we do have to double the pawns, we want to get our opponent's best attacking piece off the board. So like queen to g6 looks like it could be an annoying move at some point. So I think that if Steven's going to go for this continuation, he should just take with the queen here. I think this is definitely the better option. And then yeah, so Eileen did get paired again. So I don't know why Eileen the last game just stopped like that. It's weird. So yeah, what's going on with Brian? I don't understand how Brian only has 2 points, 1 for 3. That's maybe he's having a bad day. So let's look at Daniel and George's game. So let's see what's going on here. So it looks like George is up a bunch of material here. So let's see what happens. Oh, d6. So I like this move by George. Just a little bit of a different wrinkle. Going for what we call a modern defense. Yeah, I have amazing timing. Every time I go to a game, it seems like the game just ends. So who else can we look at? Let's look at Nathaniel and Kimmy here. And Kimmy's having a spectacular tournament. I haven't looked at as many Kimmy games as I would like to. Okay, so this is an example, right? Whenever we push the pawn in front of our queen, we typically want to try to get this c5 move in. And the reason, from the black side, we want to get c5, and the white side, we want to get c4. And the reason for this c5 idea is just so we can put an additional attacker on this center square. Because if we don't move the pawn first, once the knight moves, now notice that this pawn is unable to move. So therefore, black can't get as much pressure on this square as they would like to. So h4, yeah, that looks a bit too ambitious. Bishop f5, knight c3. Yeah, I'm very shocked that Kimmy didn't play knight b4. Not saying that knight b4 is the best move, but yeah, I'm very surprised that he didn't play knight b4 here. All right, so yeah, knight f6, knight takes. Okay, yeah, that's just giving away. So this is an example of I don't have it too hard, Nathaniel. He's only been taking chess classes for like a couple of weeks now. But we don't want to give away our knight for this pawn because the knight is worth 3 points and the pawn is only worth 1 point. So this is this is an example of giving away our more valuable pieces for less valuable pieces, and we want to try to avoid that. So bishop there, knight there. Yeah, so here we go. Here's the Kimmy that I'm expecting. Just go ahead and attack here. A4, good. Yeah, very good job of Kimmy using his knight and bishop together. Yeah, I'm really excited for Kimmy's development. I think Kimmy's got a lot of talent for chess. I think it's just a matter of him getting his focus together and putting the work. He's putting the work in. Just being more focused during his games. And I think Kimmy's going to be a very, very strong player. Bishop D2. Okay, so yeah, that's a bad move because that just gives away the knight for free. If this pawn had moved and the bishop was protecting the knight, that would be a different story because then we could capture back. So yeah, what did Josiah say? So Josiah forgot about the tournament. I don't send enough notifications. That's what I realized. I should send more notifications. All right, so rook a3, bishop there. So, okay, so the idea is to play the knight to c2, but yeah, I think he's still missing that his knight is hanging here, Kimmy. Yeah, and this is kind of a funny sequence of moves here. So that just gives away the bishop for free, gives away the rook for free, and then actually in this position, taking here is fine, right? We're winning material. Okay, the game's over, so I guess we can't look at it. What I was gonna say is we could have attacked the that pin piece there. So let's look at Max versus Eileen. Let's see if Eileen is playing. So yeah, I don't understand why it's taking her 2 minutes and 18 seconds unless she's having connection problems still. Okay, so this is a position that I believe that Max and I have talked about. If not, we should. So in the Petrov defense, you can't take this pawn on e4 right away. You have to play d6 first, because if you play knight to e4, like Eileen did, the best move for white is just to play queen e2 here, and then take advantage of the fact that the e file is open and your opponent's king is still on the e file. And after queen e2, if this knight moves, let's say to f6, then this move knight c6 just picks up the opponent's queen, because that would create a discovered check possibility. And then the knight also is covering, it's not only attacking the d8 square, but it's also attacking the e7 square. So if the queen blocks on e7, you just play knight takes queen, and you're just up a bunch of material here. Okay, so Steven ended up beating Jahi, so that's a big result for Steven in the tournament standings. So yeah, looks like Steven's getting the hang of this format. I know at first he was kind of playing a bit slow, but it seems like now he's picking up his speed. He's getting more games in, and yeah, that's a good sign. So what else should we look at? Let's look at Vincent. No, let's look. Where's Jonathan? Jonathan's not playing anymore either. Yeah, it's kind of the only way you improve. You gotta play the whole tournament. I think you gotta kind of see how you do if you play the whole tournament. Let's look at Kimmy and Steven here. So he's starting to really like this triangle pawn formation, which is a very, very popular pawn formation actually. If you're playing to London, you'd want to get your bishop to f4 and then play the pawn to e3, because by playing the pawn to e3 right away, your dark square bishop is going to get stuck inside of this pawn chain here. So typically you'd want to play the bishop outside the pawn chain first. But yeah, just the way Steven did it was perfect, right? You see how he got his bishop to f5 where he's outside of this pawn chain. The one thing I would say though for black is we have to be slightly, you just have to be aware that when you move this bishop, you're not protecting the b7 square anymore. So it looks like white could just play queen to b3 here, and I don't think it's not a winning move or anything like that, but it is something that could annoy black quite a bit. Probably they could play something like b6 or even queen c8 looks playable, but it would be an annoying idea to meet. Yeah, too many pawn moves from Kimmy. So yeah, this is not what we want. And the funny thing is, this move we played rook h2. So this is probably the only. I think this is a move where he'd be fully justified in moving this f pawn and attacking the bishop. So I think all these other pawn moves were kind of useless. But when he had the opportunity to move a pawn, he didn't, which is kind of interesting. So rook h2, h6. So now he moves the pawn, but the problem is now he can't castle anymore. So let's see what his idea is. b4. So yeah, Kimmy just doesn't listen to anything I say during class time, because this is not what we want to do. So yeah, so notice how white isn't developing any of their pieces here. So yeah, this is not what we want to be striving for here. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens in the game, but this would be a minor miracle if well, we'll see. We'll see what Steven does. If Steven doesn't, so he just gave away his knight. So never mind. So now I think Kimmy's just better now. He just takes the knight, and his position is he's just up a piece. So even now his yeah, even though he weakened a lot of his king side structure, he's probably going to survive this. So I assume that Steven's going to play Queen H4 check here, and then let's see what will happen next. If he doesn't play Queen, yeah. So I don't even know what this move is threatening. So I think he could. I think Kimmy could actually play Rook B2 here. Yeah, I don't understand what. Okay, knight there. Yeah, knight there seems reasonable with the idea of Rook B1 because if the what he just gave away his knight for free. This is weird. Why is he giving away his pieces for free, Steven? Yeah, yeah. So oh, that was his idea. Ah, I did miss that. Oh, I missed that. That was a nice trap by Steven. He got me. He got me there too. Very, very nice trap by Steven there. Yeah, that was a cool idea by Steven. I got to give him credit for that one. Yeah, he even got me on that one. And that's sort of what happens, right? When your king gets stuck in the center, is you have all these attacking possibilities against your king that you don't need to allow. Yeah, that was a good move. So I think the best move is probably knight to b5 here, and just you're going to lose your queen anyway, so we want to take back, and then it's sort of anybody's game here. And I think I suggested rook b1 earlier, which was a bad suggestion because the bishop could just take. So apparently I'm missing quite a lot this game. So yeah, what else? What other game could we look at? Let's look at Esther and George's game. So it looks like George is just up a queen for a rook here, which is a pretty decisive advantage. Queen g4 just hangs the queen here. So yeah, that's an example of us tripping ourselves in the race. I guess Esther's thinking since her opponent's knight is pinned that she can give away her queen, but the problem is she's going to definitely at least lose a piece here because after the knight takes, bishop takes queen, black can take back. Additionally, black also has this knight takes f2 idea, and this rook is trapped. So this is all pretty problematic for the white side. So queen h4 I like a lot. H6. Okay, bishop takes f6. Queen e8. So yeah, now we're just down a piece. So how in the world did Esther not just win here? So I think in this position we can just play queen to g3, taking advantage of the pin on the g file, and be pretty happy here. Additionally, we could play knight to d5, and the idea of knight d5 is if the pawn takes, we could play knight takes f6, attacking the king and queen, and all this looks quite good for white. Queen h4. Okay, that move I don't get. Knight there, bishop there. Yeah, so here we just have more defenders than attackers, right? So well, I guess okay, I see. Yeah, there's just too many defenders, right? There's 1, 2, 3 defenders, and we only have 2 attackers. So I think the best thing we should do to respond to George's threat here is probably just castle queenside looks good. Yeah, I think just castling queenside seems very logical. That just gives away the queen. Yeah, we're missing a lot in our game. So how much time did George take on this move? Just out of curiosity. So 11 seconds. Yeah. So we got to think, right? Let's make sure we're asking ourselves if our opponent's pieces are safe. So here we could just win the queen for free. Yeah, we're just giving away our pieces too easily, way too easily still. And then yeah, I think George missed his knight takes c2 idea, forking the king and the rook here. Yeah, okay. That move I don't get. Why did we give up? Yeah, that I don't understand. And I apparently forgot how to castle in chess. I don't know why Esther doesn't want to castle here at any point. So yeah, we talk about this all the time, right? The three principles are control the center, get your king safe, and castle. So yeah, this was a nice move by George. I like that. I like that he's trying to trade off pieces since he's up material, right? He's up a queen for a rook. So any queen trade or any piece trade, I should say, should be good for George. Yep, so that just picks up a rook. Yeah, King G8 is perfectly fine move. We also could have played Rook G7 here, but yeah, King G8 is probably a much better move. It just hangs the rook. Yeah, so we're just giving our opponent everything, right? We just give away our pieces every time it's our turn. So like I said, I'm going to try to be calmer and more patient. I understand the kids are doing their best, but I at the same time have to comment that that's not very good chess to just give our pieces away. So it's hard to see where the improvement's going to come from as long as we're giving our pieces away for free still. Once we stop doing that, then we can really start improving our play and think about other ideas. But as long as we're just giving our pieces away for free, we're not. We have to. We have to be able to walk before we can run. So and right now I think in some ways we're still crawling. So we need to kind of make sure we're not giving our pieces away for free. Let's look at this game between Eileen and Alex. So here we have E4, E5, F5. Yeah, and up to this point we have a miraculously. I shouldn't say miraculously. That's not very nice. Here we have a very very nice position, right? We have a side where both sides are getting their piece developed. Both sides are prepared to castle. And then Eileen decides to give away her knight for a pawn, and then all the advantage is gone. So here we have a position where the knight is worth 3 points and the pawn is worth 1. So that's just a very bad trade for white here. We're giving away too much material. So let's look at Vincent and Nathaniel here. Yeah, I think Vincent only has 2 points. I thought Vincent was gonna have a better tournament, to be honest. Yep, and once again we keep forgetting that when we move the pawn in front of the queen, we're supposed to play c4, and this way we can get our knight behind the pawn. Because if we play the knight here right away, yeah, I can't move the pieces at all. But yeah, if we move the knight in front of this pawn, notice the pawn gets stuck. So now we're not able to play this move to this pawn to c4 and put more pressure on this d5 square. Yeah, I don't get any of these moves, right? We talk about developing our pieces, right? Moving our pieces off of this back rank. So these pieces that haven't moved should be moving. We don't want to move our pawns too much, right? We want to get our pieces into the game. So yeah, so here just knight f3 with the idea of either knight e5 check or knight g5 wouldn't be safe just yet. But yeah, so probably the idea is to put the knight onto e5 and attack the king. This would be a very very reasonable idea. And yeah, it looks like Elizabeth didn't. Yeah, I really hope it's really, if you're gonna play in the tournament, I hope that you play all the games. Just playing like one game isn't, or a couple games. That's not really the point of the tournament. The point is we can get like a bunch of players together so that we can play a lot of games. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of getting a bit like in some ways I'm very optimistic about the tournament because it seems like the kids really enjoy it. But in other ways I'm getting very pessimistic about the tournament because yeah, if the kids can't play the whole tournament or if people aren't showing up, then it kind of defeats the purpose of having the tournament. If I'm being perfectly honest. So let's see what happened in this game between Max and Sam. So Max is doing a good job with Sicilian defense, and yeah, once again, Max is a very talented player. So knight g5, yeah, that just allows e6 here, and yeah, this is just a waste of time from Sam. So he basically just moved the knight back. So if we go back to this position, we had this position, and it was White's turn, and then if we go forward 2 moves, we have this position, and it's Black's turn. So basically, White didn't improve their position at all. And we allow Black to move this pawn, and now it's also Black's move again. So this was just a complete waste of time. And then yeah, that's just a free pawn. And then we get d5 move in. Yeah. So whenever we're playing Sicilian, if we're able to get this d5 move in, and it's a safe move for us to play, this is basically a sign that we've equalized the position already. And considering that black also won a pawn, they're just much better now. This is going to be a very fun position for black to play, I imagine. D3. So yeah, we got a couple of nice options. We could play knight takes f2 here. We could take right away. There's a lot of good ideas for black here. Knight f6 is also fine. Bishop d7, d4, take, take, take. Yeah, hung the bishop. So in this position, for Sam needs to play bishop takes with check first, and then take the knight on d4. Otherwise, we're just losing a piece here. So yeah, now Max is just up a whole piece. So the opening went about as well as it could go for black. So yeah, we're trading pieces, which we should do in rub material, but we are creating some weaknesses. But yeah, nice job by Max. Max is just an incredible talent, and it's just a matter of getting the practice in. All right, so here we have Brian versus Kimmy. Yeah, so let's get our pieces developed, Kimmy. Right, knight f6. Let's get our pieces developed. I think that knight c3 is something, or I'm sorry, knight d5 is something that Brian should probably get in here. So remember, when we're picking up a tempo, that's a reason why we can move the same piece twice. Queen e1. No. We can't. Yeah, that's not the way to get out of a pin. We're just gonna double our pawns. Yeah, so I think here just take and then knight to d4 looks like a very annoying idea from the. It's very annoying for white, I should say. Castle queenside. I like how Kimmy likes to castle queenside in his games. He seems like he really enjoys that. Queen d7, d4. So yeah, here there's here we just have a position where we have two attackers and only one defender. So yeah, I believe we could just take, and if we want to be very sure, we could just play bishop takes f3 and then play knight takes d4 next move. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, Kimmy's doing fantastic. It's really fun to watch Kimmy's improvement. Bishop e3. So I think we could play d4 here because this isn't really even a threat. The bishop's protecting it. So I think also knight f6 is fine. I think we could also just grab the pawn. So it looks like we have a lot of good options here. c4, bishop there. Okay. So probably queen c7. Okay. Yeah, so Kimmy's going for this checkmate threat. So let's see if Brian spots this idea. Because if he gets checkmated here, that would not be good. He probably could play f3. Probably f3 is the best move, picking up a tempo on this bishop. And notice that Kimmy kind of failed to develop his pieces on the king side here. Let's look at Steven and Nathan. So it looks like they have a pretty interesting game going on. So it looks like Nathan has the outside. Oh no, Steven. I'm sorry. Steven has the outside pass pawn. So let's see what's going on here. So it looks like we have Queen's Gambit accepted. And yeah, once again, once this bishop comes to f5, we can try to put some pressure on this b7 pawn. So probably queen b3 would be very, very reasonable move for white here. And that's another reason why c4 is useful, because it also gives this diagonal for the white queen. Yeah, I really like the way that Steven and Nathan are getting their pieces developed here. Although, yeah, there's no reason to move our bishop twice. Yeah, we could have just moved it there in one turn. So that's kind of a waste of a tempo. Bishop d3. No. Why? Yeah, so here we have the two bishop advantage as white here. So there's really no reason to just give away the two bishop advantage. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what the best move might be. Maybe an idea of like a4 and then putting the bishop on a3 makes a lot of sense for white here. Because then we have this nice diagonal for our bishop where we're hitting this rook. And we're taking advantage of the fact that our opponent doesn't have a dark squared bishop anymore. Yeah, now this e4 pawn, this is gonna be like yeah, this is gonna be a very annoying pawn for white to deal with. This pawn does a very good job of controlling this square. So I think an idea of like knight a5 and knight c4 looks very tempting. Yeah, this pawn's annoying for white. Maybe we could play f3 here and try to take advantage of the pin here. So maybe f3 would have been an okay idea. I'm not sure. Maybe after just rook e8, it doesn't do that much, but it's definitely an idea that white should consider. Okay, so f3 now. Okay, the other rook should come to e8, or I'm sorry, e8, I think. D8. Okay, I think rook e8 is probably better. And yeah, I think knight a5 with the idea of coming to c4, putting some pressure on this e3 square and the knight here or on the bishop here would be very logical. All right, so here we have a draw. All right, so yeah, I think they're pretty evenly matched players, so a draw is a reasonable result. And now we have Max. Looks like he wants to steal this tournament. So let's see what happens here. Is Sam still playing? Sam is playing against George. So let's look at this game. Okay, so we have a perk defense. Yeah, so Sam should stop going for this setup. It's very risky to kind of just weaken this f6 square because there's no pawns that can attack on f6 anymore. So it's sort of like the plan doesn't really make that much sense to me. Castle, d5, take, and then probably rook e1 check, just taking advantage of open e5 would make sense. Maybe George just moved the bishop instinctively though, so let's see what happened. Yeah, so the problem with bishop d3 is now we can't move this d pawn, and if we can't move the d pawn, then our dark square bishop is not going to get developed, and it's especially dangerous here because we can't move the b pawn without losing our rook. So there's a lot of issues with bishop to d3 here. Yeah, and then why go with bishop d3 if we're going to move the bishop again? But yeah, these are things that we're gonna improve on, of course. D3. So yeah, I think George realized that he needed to move the d pawn, so that's why he moved the bishop again. So it's good that he saw that. It would be better, of course, if he saw it earlier. But yeah, I mean, at least he's correcting his mistake, which is a very good thing. Bishop f4. Yeah, so everyone's going for this. So Sam's going for this idea of trapping the bishop. I think he went for the same idea against Brian. No. Yeah, we have two defenders and we only have one attacker, and the bishop is worth more than the pawn. So yeah, this is a bit of a panic move. Just play like a3 or a4 and give your bishop somewhere to go, and you're fine. Yeah, this can be annoying in a lot of structures, but typically we have a way to not lose our bishop here. So we can just be calm here. And then yeah, now we hung our bishop as well. Okay. Yeah, and Sam is basically just okay. So we're just giving away too much here. So why is Sam? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So why is George giving away his knight here? Yeah, I like this move a lot by George. Or hold on, who was giving away their pieces there? So now Sam is giving away his pieces. So yeah, there's no reason for either side to be giving away. So at first George was mostly giving away his pieces. Now Sam is giving away his pieces. All right, so it looks like Sam is still up a bishop, but it's not as good as it was before. Yeah, I like this rook d5 move a lot by George, using his queen to protect the rook. Looks very logical. And then if the queen goes somewhere where it doesn't protect the bishop, we could just capture. But yeah, queen here looks, just trading out the queen seems like a good option for black here. Queen b7. So here we could play c4, I think. And the idea of c4 is that if the pawn captures en passant, we could take the queen on b7 with our rook. So that looks like an interesting idea. Okay, that's what he played. Very good move by George. Yeah, but our rook is pinned. Okay, I missed that as well. So c4 was a terrible suggestion then. Queen b7 was a nice move by Sam. That was a very, very good move. Yeah, there's really not too much that white can do here. Maybe they could play like queen e4 or queen h1 even. But yeah, okay, this position is very winning for black. So yeah, just bishop takes. Rook looks very very convincing. And now we just play b3, good, and we play a4 if we need to, protecting the pawn. And yeah, black should win this with their extra rook. What's going on, Eileen? Is Eileen still playing? Where's not Eileen? Yeah, it looks like we lost a lot of players. So we started with 18 and now we're down to 8. I'd like to thank Vincent and Nathaniel for continuing to play. I know that they haven't gotten the results they wanted, but at least they're hanging in there. Where's Esther at? Is she still here? So it looks like we have Steven and Nathan in first and second, but yeah, Max is climbing up because he's on the win streak. So if Max can get one more win here, so this is an important game. So basically, if Max wins this game, he's gonna win. But it looks like Nathan is winning this position. So the best idea for Nathan, yeah, b3 and then knight a4. Very very beautiful idea from Nathan here. So just knight a4, very very nice. That's a very very good blocking maneuver by Nathan. So yeah, that's the best maneuver that we've seen today, in my opinion. Yeah, excellent. I think Max could resign here. It looks like a pretty quick game. So why did Max abandon his Sicilian and go for the perk this game? Oh, I see. It was a d4 opening from Nathan. Okay, never mind. That answers my question. I know that Max is pretty good in the perk defense as well. Rook h8. Okay, I don't really understand that move. Knight g5, very nice move from Nathan there. Very, very thematic also in the perk. Yeah, very, very good job. Yeah, that was a pretty crucial game in the tournament standings. So I think, yeah, I think that could be a decisive game. Let's see how Steven is doing. So he's playing against his buddy here, Brian. Yeah, so he's just giving away his pieces too easily, Brian. So that's just a free pawn that he doesn't need to give up. So now his knight is pinned and he's allowing this knight e5 move. So let's knight e5, bishop e2, I assume. Okay. So but the problem is this pawn is just hanging. So yeah, Steven could just go ahead and grab this pawn whenever he wants, I believe. Although I don't know, can he do it now? So if he plays there, knight takes, queen. No, so he can't play it now. But I think he could have taken the pawn earlier. Okay, e6 looks reasonable. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't want to. This knight is very strong on e5, so I actually would just recommend queen d7, and then if the queen takes, you can even just take back with your king. You don't really need to castle in this position once the queens are off the board. And this knight on e5 is just going to be a monster for the whole game, or it should be. I don't know. I mean, I guess this bishop can move, and then you can play f4. But it looks like this knight is very very well placed at the moment. Okay, so yeah, now we have this half-open file, and this rook is going to be very annoying, I believe. e5. So yeah, here I think we could have just played. I think we could just play knight takes. No, we can't play knight takes e4 because the queen will take. So yeah, stand corrected there. What can we play though? e5. I don't know. E5 doesn't feel quite necessary to me because we are weakening our d5 square. But maybe there's no good way for white to take advantage of this. I don't know, e5 though, it doesn't feel quite right to me. c4 I don't get at all. Yeah, what's the point of c4? Okay, trade off a pair of bishops. So this was a decent, a pretty solid idea from Steven because he noticed that white had the two bishop advantage. G3, and yeah, this knight to G5 move is going to come at some point. So I think the problem for white is that they have their bishop on the same color squares as their center pawns. So this bishop might have trouble getting into the game, but let's see what happens. So I think bishop to G2 here looks fine. This has been a well played game for the most part. Probably just giving away the E4 pawn was a mistake, but other than that, I think this has been pretty well played. So it's hard to suggest. Like I think white might have time to play this knight B1, knight C3, and knight to D5 idea because this is a nice idea from Brian also. This is probably a better idea. So yeah, we're just putting pressure on this backwards pawn. And then what else could happen here? Yeah, this pawn is really weak. So I do like this queen D3 move a lot. Yeah, I think we can just. So basically saying if we grab this pawn, he's going to play rook here and he's going to take our knight. So that's what he's claiming. Yeah, I think this move is going to lose the knight. Because we can't play queen e6 check because the knight's guarding that square. So we could try queen takes e5, and then the idea is we could play either h4 or f4 to pin the knight. Probably f4, right? I think we have to play f4 here. No, because that doesn't work anyway, because there's always this check here, and then as actually white that loses their queen. So yeah, I think Brian is just lost here. Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough day for Brian. Yeah, I feel like this isn't really representative of his best chess. He's a much better chess player than this, but everyone has days like this. There's a very popular expression in chess that one day you give your opponent a lesson and the next day they give you one. So what other game can we look at? So we could look at, yeah, I'm happy that Esther is still playing in all the games. Although it doesn't look like there's been any moves played, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, we have Puffyfoot versus Not Eileen. I like that name a lot, Not Eileen. That's a pretty funny name. So looks like we have a French defense. Very good job from Eileen so far. Yeah, this is one of the best games I've seen Eileen play as far as getting her. Yeah, this is perfect. It only took you to the last round, Eileen, to play your best chess. Next tournament, I want you to play your best chess from the first minute. Don't wait to the end of the tournament. Yeah, so now this is an annoying idea, right? We have the half open F file, so yeah, Nathan has to be a bit careful about this. Yeah, I don't like taking with the pawn, right? Because with your opponent's queen on the board, opening up this G file looks very dangerous. I think if Eileen had just played queen takes F6 here, she would be perfectly fine in this position. I don't know. Maybe queen takes here is a problem. But I don't know. It's just a pawn, right? Because then we could play knight to D7, and our rooks protect each other. And I think we have some compensation for the pawn even. So yeah, I think queen F6 would be fine. Yeah, queen. So yeah, this is just kind of a pattern that maybe Eileen doesn't know so well. But if we just play knight to D7 here, our queen is protecting our rook, and we're going to be perfectly fine here. And then yeah, just give me 1 second. I have an upcoming class right after this tournament, so let me just get that prepared here briefly. So what if we go start? Okay, chess class day. And then there was one other thing I need to do for this. Oh, we have more. Oh, perfect. So you have to add some students here. 1 second. Yeah, I probably won't do much commentary when the tournament's over because I have to. You have to get this. Going to get this other class started. So where's this person? Maddie Gray, right? Okay, I don't see them. Okay, how come I can't? Sorry about this. I know it's not the best way to end the video, but I have to end some of these students here. Okay, there's one more thing I had to do. Can you go? All right, cool. So let me get back to the tournament. Let's get the end of this tournament in. All right, so we have this was a nice game from Eileen though. She played a very good game to finish. I really wanted to see how Eileen did in the whole tournament, to be honest, because I feel like she has some improvement in her. Everyone has some improvement in her, but I thought Eileen was really starting to catch on. So I feel bad she had so many issues connecting. And Esther kind of had a tough tournament. Usually she played much better last tournament. What happened to Vincent? How did he went 2 for 17? So did he really play? Yeah, they got a lot of forfeits. It looks like. I don't understand why they're forfeiting so much. So yeah, I don't have no idea why all these games are forfeiting. Because I know Vincent is also about to take a pretty big jump in playing strength, but it's disappointing when you see all these forfeits because it's just I don't know why he's forfeiting so many games. All right, so yeah. So what games can we look at here? So we have Steven. Looks like a Nathaniel and George's game. What's going on here? Huh. So George is down this much material. This is surprising if I'm being honest. Not that Nathaniel's not capable of playing good chess, but he is much more of a beginner than George is. So yeah, why are we giving away our knight for a pawn? I don't understand, or for nothing. Yeah, I don't understand this. Yeah, and then same thing here. Also, the rook could just take the black rook. So that is that's just giving away a rook here. So that's the 1 minute mark. Yeah, I started the tournament 1 minute late, so that's why we're having these issues. Or not issues. I should say that's why the tournament started. I think that was my mistake. I started the tournament one minute late. So yeah, here we're giving away our knight. Yeah, this is not the chess that I've come to expect from George, if I'm being honest. Yeah, we don't just give away our pieces for no reason. And then here we're trading when we're down a piece, which I don't fully get either. Ooh, nice move by Nathaniel. He's trapping the he's pinning the queen to the king. Huh. Very nice game from Nathaniel here. Ooh, nice double attack by Nathaniel there. So we attacked both the king and the rook at the same time. The good thing for George is that the tournament's going to end before he's going to lose this game, I believe. So that's kind of a tough break for Nathaniel there. So we have Puffyfoot with the win with 42 points, followed by Steven with 38 and Max with 37. So I want to thank everyone for playing. I don't know. I was slightly disappointed with the turnout this tournament, and also hopefully we can get all the kids to play the whole tournament. Just coming and playing like 2 games isn't really the goal of the tournament, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, congrats for Nathan for winning again. It looks like he had a little bit more of a challenge this tournament, which is nice. He didn't just go 12-0, but yeah, very good tournament from Nathan, and I want to thank everyone for playing. And I'm looking forward to class so we can go over some of these games. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. All right, bye-bye.